Polaris in the comic books recently is depicted with her coffee. Like, what is your ideal morning coffee situation?
When I do drink coffee, it's a black coffee hot with one Splenda. And I believe that's also what Lorna would drink in real life.
A daddy cable.
Daddy cable. I would love that. I would love it.
Shout out to the Powers of X-Men podcast.
Hottest writers at Marvel Comics right now.
The Pretender's death, like be.
Right, Familia, Power of X-Men, we're with. Do you love Power of X-Men?
I love Power of X-Men. Of course I do. Do I? Yes, I did.
What's up, Familia? We have a special. Fuck you, Hammy. We have a special episode here talking with our favorite Canadians about the writer's strike and how it's impacting Marvel, and spoilers on one of the Canadians on this episode today. It's Hammy.
It's Hammy, and I'm here to talk about Marvel stuff and how shitty Disney is treating everyone. Including us.
Including us, it's right. We did not get our press ticket to the D23 Hellfire Gala event over at San Diego, and we were on emails with those publicists. And we also have Latverian Lad, Sean. What's up?
The other Canadian, the B-side Canadian.
God, Canadians have the worst intros ever.
We do. Yeah,
everyone else
I need like a drag race intro line, right? Like,
yeah, we're too kind. Like, if it was like Demanda and Michelle are so confident.
Yeah,
and,
okay. And we're
I mean, Scott is just dry, but we love him for it.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I'm on the podcast. Sorry.
Wait, did you say you're too kind? Because I'm literally saying, "What's up, Familia?" and you're mocking me.
He was lip syncing like you're a star.
I was joining you.
Oh
my god.
Insane Sagittarius Cuban, totally insecure and like read into too many things.
Oh my god. Get on with it.
Okay, so we're here to talk about the writer's strike because there's so much happening with Deadpool 3 news. Obviously, there's a big question mark on everything that's happening. Hammy, you're really, you've taken such a wonderful stand with the strike. You've been commenting about it. There's a lot of questions about cosplay, so I figure we can all just like converge and kiki and have like a good chat about it.
Yeah, I mean, the strike has been, when it first started, I was 100% sure it was going to be like 2 weeks long. And people were like, no, this is going to go till January. And I was like, there's absolutely no way. The studios
like
won't let it happen.
Remember when we said that?
Yeah, exactly. Oh God, how dare you evoke those
my God.
ideas.
I remember getting so upset that I had no work for 2 weeks. And I remember calling my boss and being like, what the fuck over this fucking, what's it called again? I was like, Corona 2020, what is it? Like, so upset. And 2 years later.
Yeah, seriously. And I feel like this could be like that if the studios don't smarten up, which I kind of hope that I want them to smarten up, but I enjoy watching them suffer. I like that they're having to push everything back. I like that we're getting a little bit of a break, honestly. It sucks that people have to suffer, like cast and crew and all of that, like have to suffer through this, but it's something that's worth fighting for, obviously. So hopefully other studios like A24 right now is still filming because they've agreed to everything that the actors and writers are asking for, which is amazing because they're a great film production company. So I'm excited about that.
Everything A24 puts out.
But no one else is budging, and it's kind of pissing me off a little bit.
Yeah, well, a couple months ago, people were like talking smack about Fran Drescher, and they're like, oh, she's not a really good leader for SAG. And then finally they went on strike and she drew her line in the sand and she has become a hero. I love the memes of this is a woman saving us from the robot. This is who we thought would save us from the robots, but this is the actual person. And then some of the people commenting on Twitter, they're like, "Who is this woman?" And people reply, "It's a woman in red," when everyone else is wearing
This is
tan.
wearing pink.
It's fucking incredible.
Yeah, how's the strike affecting you guys across the pond?
As,
I
well, I guess we're both. Yeah, okay, you're across the pond, right? I'm
Yeah,
just in Canada. Yeah.
Yeah, you're just in Canada.
You're across
a
the
neighbor.
border. I'm
Yeah.
across an ocean. Well, I mean, so much of our media comes from the US, right? Like everything from Hollywood, it's all pretty much the same thing that gets played here. So, yeah, I'd say it's probably exactly the same. I don't know necessarily about like the filming here, but all the stuff that me and my friends and stuff are interested in and want to watch is all the stuff coming out of the big studios, right? So it's affecting like the Marvel movies, the Marvel shows, all those types of things. So. But I'm not sure it's probably not as talked about in the news as it would be in America.
It is like legit. So I was just in LA a couple of days ago. Everyone's talking about the strikes, and it's affected everyone, obviously, in town. But the way they talk about everything is so different than even how we do it here on the East Coast, because we just get our information secondary or whatever we see on Twitter. But I was talking to Luigi, cosplayer Luigi, who we love very much. And he was telling me how, after 60 days of a strike, the studios can exercise an act of God and just cancel projects. And that was something I didn't know. And there was big concern, I think it was last Tuesday, that a lot of projects were just going to be canceled. There were all these rumors that actors were going to be let go. And it wouldn't even be like the bigger actors like Tom Cruise, who will always have like evergreen like relationships with these studios. We're talking about the actors who are truly hustling, working paycheck to paycheck. So it's interesting to see how that industry affects the local economy of California, much like in the way that when publishing here in New York goes on strike, the entire city feels it. It's a conversation piece.
Well, you would imagine, right? Especially in LA and in anywhere in California, LA the most. Everybody's going to know somebody who knows somebody that's affected. And I mean, probably every second person is affected, right? Because everybody in that town wants to or is in that industry for the most part. So yeah, I would imagine it's a lot more prevalent in discussions than on the East Coast or even overseas like here.
Yeah, I sorry, no, it's just like I'm trying to like be gentle with the whole thing, but like it really, really does piss me off because like that cancellation policy is something that these studios, I think, are going to use against us, the viewing public, to try to turn us against the actors who are on strike. They're going to be like, oh, well, now you don't get Spider-Verse, the second part that was going to come out it's done. That movie's finished. They're only not doing it because they want to hold it out and have us feel like, well, I want to get my movie, so you guys got to stop this strike. Oh, I want to see Deadpool, so you guys got to stop this strike. Oh, I want to, and it bothers me that places like Disney and Warner Brothers and all of that are doing this. Because it's just Spider-Verse is done. It can come out when it was supposed to come out, and they're like, sorry, the strike ruined it for you guys.
Yeah.
Oh, those greedy actors. You don't get your good movies now.
Well, so the Disney earnings call just happened, and they released a slide of all the upcoming stuff that's supposed to be coming down the pipeline. And two things were notably missing from Marvel. One of them is being Echo. No one knows what happened to Echo because Loki and the Marvels is still coming out. I didn't see Loki on that slide, but everyone's saying it's not delayed. That's still happening. So.
Well, they released a trailer with like the date that it's airing. So I'm pretty sure that's done and dusted.
Yeah. So the Marvels is still going. Loki is, but Echo is not on that slide, and neither is Deadpool 3. ... Deadpool 3 was supposed to come out in May. I think May was too ambitious for Deadpool, by the way. I don't know how you guys feel about that, because they had only really just started filming. Like, let's assume they would have wrapped in October. Are they really going to have time to edit the movie, do the CG, and, put it out in time of May? That seemed too ambitious for me.
Well, they moved it forward, right? Like, it was supposed to come out later, and then they moved it. So they must have felt some certain way, like, oh, we don't need as much time as we've been given.
Right.
But do you know when they started filming for sure?
They started in May.
Okay.
So they would have presumably been wrapped by now.
I always get fuzzy with like Marvel stuff specifically because they've done this thing where they've intertwined everything. So nothing can be like, no one movie can go ahead of another movie because it has something in it that relates to a different spoiler for a movie that's now not coming out, and that movie has this for the Deadpool movie, and so I feel like they just shift stuff around arbitrarily based on that rather than like I feel like Deadpool was going to be rushed, is what I'm trying to say. I think Deadpool was going to be rushed, but I think Marvel was like, it has to go here because we want to put something in it that's going to lead to this next movie that we have coming out.
Right. I mean, ideally, it would be streaming into Secret Wars. That's sort of like the big rumor that, the Fox X-Men will come back, and then that's going to set up Secret Wars, and it'll be a big, epic, like, battle. Because they were going to do the Jonathan Hickman version of Secret Wars, which is all like the planets, converging into like one battle world, or dimensions, excuse me. But I think we wanted to chat about some of the news that's coming out with Deadpool right now and sort of dissect how like the strike is going to be affecting it, because they're still reporting that new people are being cast in Deadpool 3. And as part of the strike, no negotiations are happening, and no offers are happening, and no announcements are happening. And yet we're getting everyday different rumors. And the most current rumor is that Emma Corrin, they are going to be playing Cassandra Nova in Deadpool 3.
Okay, so I'm making the same face as Hammy because one, like, why would she be, of all characters to put into Deadpool, like, it feels like a bit of a random one to put in. And like you said, the timing is a little suspicious because they shouldn't be, making contracts and stuff. So I don't know. Is it coming from any reputable sources?
No. It's like people just
make never this does with Dayspring.
It's journalism 101. Just cite your sources. Where are these scoops coming from, right? Like, if it's just someone saying like, hey, I have a scoop, blah, 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 that's fine, whatever. We did that with Madeline Pryor recently. We talked about her because can we get some toast reporting on that? It's like, fine, whatever. They have a scoop. But no, this just seemed to appear on the internet one day. And Emma Corrin, they have a casual resemblance to Cassandra Nova. So is Emma Corrin, are they just in the movie? And they were like, I'll just play whichever character. But then the internet's like, they look like Cassandra Nova, so therefore they are Cassandra Nova. Like, I'm just curious where this intel's coming from.
Yeah, Sean, Latverian, whatever you want to call yourself these days, whatever your secret superhero name is. I agree. It seems like a weird choice, but they also did like Negasonic in that movie, and I had no idea who that was. That's and I was like, why would you put this unknown character in this like huge movie? And it worked. I really liked that character, so maybe they're just. And I love Cassandra Nova too, so I would be thrilled. Like, what a treacherous, evil, expletive, evil butthead.
Evil butthead. I love how wholesome you are. I'm like, fuck, bitch, blah, 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 blah. And you're like, okay, so Cassandra Nova and Negasonic Teenage Warhead obviously have a huge history together because Negasonic was the character that Emma carried out after the Genosha suicide, where the ambulance is like, she's dead. And Emma's like, well, then bring her back to life, you imbecile. And obviously Emma was like in a huge state of shock. But if they are really going to be playing Cassandra Nova, there is a huge age discrepancy between Sir Patrick Stewart and James McAvoy. But it's whatever, they're dimension hopping. So what age doesn't matter? And they can always age them up.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think that's the part of the story that's the most unbelievable. You know what I
mean? Fair. Yeah, I don't know. I think they would do a good job with the role, and I hope that the character is genuinely in it, because I don't know what you would do with that character in this movie that would be... Because I don't think they can do a big storyline with Cassandra, right? So if they were going to put them in, it would be for a good reason.
They could set Cassandra up for being a major villain in Secret Wars. right? I mean, especially if Emma Corrin delivers and is a fan favorite in the same way that Negasonic was a fan favorite coming out of the Deadpool movies. So I don't know.
Do you not think that she's like a bit niche to for the movie fans? I feel like that'd be a big risk to set up her as a villain when you're like, no, but even I say unless you're like a more in-depth comic book fan, you're not gonna know who that character is. So if I was a producer and it was I owned the studio, I'd be like, I'm not putting my money on a character like that nobody's gonna buy the action figure of, that is not a cool look, that's gonna make costumes out of it. Like, I don't know. I don't think it's a character that's gonna draw money, so I'm on the camp of like, I don't think it's gonna happen.
I am seizing right now. First of all, we want a Marvel Legends Cassandra Nova. Hasbro, make it happen. And secondly, I don't disagree with you. I think Marvel needs to play it safe more. But one of the things that has made Marvel, the MCU, so successful is taking leaps with these D-list characters. I think if done correctly, if they introduce Cassandra as like Xavier's evil twin sister, and she is responsible for the annihilation of 16 million mutants, it could be set up right. I agree. I don't think that it would she could flagship an entire movie just based off of one, appearance in Deadpool 3, which we'll assume is just a cameo. But I don't know. I'm more curious why these rumors are coming out now, especially since everything is at a halt. So, I mean, is someone just leaking this information? Is this genuine? Is it just the internet making stuff up? I don't know.
It's a good time for rumors. Like, having Ryan Reynolds be the one who basically leaks all of his own stuff anyway to get stuff made, it's a great way to, not saying he did it, but it's a great way to keep people talking about this movie while the production slows down, to just have these weird fan castings come out, whether they are real or not. It's smart because here we are talking about it, and when the next one comes up, we'll be talking about it again, and then the next one, and the next one.
I'm pretty sure I heard that Mephisto's in this movie.
Fuck off.
Oh gosh. Well,
if there's not a Mephisto joke in this movie, I'm walking out of the theater.
Fair.
So I think one of the things that I am curious about is how the strike is going to affect whatever negotiations could potentially be happening, right? We know Halle Berry, James Marsden, Famke are all rumored to be coming back. Elizabeth Olsen's supposed to be in it as well. They're supposed to do House of M. It's all these grand ambitions that they have. I think these are all unfair expectations being thrusted on the movie. But I'm curious how the strike is going to happen, if actors are going to be able to report. I don't know enough about the movie industry to understand.
You've got to believe if they're going to be in it, those contracts were signed long before the strike started. Because the script would call for those characters to be in it, written knowing that those actors would play. And if all those actors said no, you'd have to change the script, right? Because you're not going to cast random actors to play these characters that, unless they're either going to be the actors that play them in the MCU going forward, or you'd need the ones from the Fox X-Men. Like, so I'd imagine if Halle Berry and James Marsden are going to be in it, and all the rest of them, like, that was signed probably a long time ago.
I mean, you're right, because Halle Berry back in May already was sporting her white hair on Instagram.
Oh, well,
so
there you go.
So if she did film...
What if this is why Deadpool was taken off the release slate, is because they are going back to rewrite a bunch of stuff, or will have to, because what if these actors had other contracts for other movies that they'd be working on in a year, and now this movie has run into that, and they're like, well, I can't film then because I'm doing this like indie project I already promised, and I signed my Marvel contract saying I'd be done by this time, and now they're like, oh shit, we got to fix it. And they can't even rewrite anything right now either, because the writers are on strike. I think this was a good thing for Deadpool though, because they were still filming while the writer's strike was happening, and they weren't allowed to like improvise on set because it's considered writing.
Yeah.
And I think you don't let Ryan Reynolds improvise, you don't have a good movie. So I'm kind of glad that they didn't keep filming through the writer's strike.
100% agreed. Okay, what about Echo? Our Echo disappeared off of the fall list. Are we...
Oh no! Echo, the one we've all been looking forward to!
I mean, I feel really...
Stop it.
Oh my god, I know, you're such a fanboy. Listen, I heard Echo is not very good. That's sort of like some of the tea that's circulating around, and that they were going to drop all the episodes one weekend, just because they wanted any criticism or any backlash for it to be done. I don't know. I really liked Echo in Hawkeye, so I had an open heart coming into it. But at the same time, I think some of the quality on Disney Plus shows have significantly dipped. And if they're delaying this, if it truly is done and they were going to release it, why are they delaying it?
Is there any news on Daredevil?
No, there's no news on Daredevil other than it was filming.
Okay. Yeah, I think they just know it's probably going to be boring, and it's not worth the money of promoting it necessarily. And so as long as there's nothing in it that would spoil another movie that they know is going to make money, why put it out now? Why waste that time? They're going to need that money to promote the Marvels without having any of the celebrities do any of the red carpet,
Oh yeah, I'm really excited for the Marvels. How do you guys feel about the trailer that dropped recently?
It's I'm very excited for the Marvels. I don't think the new trailer made me any more excited than the first trailer did, though. Not really, no. It was I didn't find anything else special or different about it. There was a cat, I guess.
The floor pin
was nice. Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I think that's a perfect way of describing it. And I'm excited, but I wasn't. Yeah, it didn't hype me up anymore. But I love, I'm a big cosmic fan for the Marvel world. So anything like Silver Surfer, any of the Kree, the Shi'ar, the Skrulls, all those types of things, the Nihilists, Nova. I'm a big fan of that kind of genre of Marvel. So because it's in space, and you'll probably get more of those things. I'm here for it.
Yeah, I'm curious if the X-Men are going to play a role, because obviously Kamala is now a mutant.
Michael, there's an X-Men podcast. We have to speculate that they might be in it.
How do I kick you off? Oh no, just spotlight you for everyone.
Oh no, he's
Jean Grey. I hate that bitch.
I'm curious if they're gonna address the X gene. Here's my thing about what's going on with the strike now, and I don't want to participate in that toxic mindset that you were talking about, Hammy, where it's like, oh man, we were gonna get all this stuff, and now because of these writers and these actors, everything's ruined. I want to be very clear. We support the writers and the actor strike here, but I'm curious if they're getting ready to set up the X-Men and the mutants, and with Deadpool and Kamala being confirmed as a mutant, were they going to start setting it up in the Marvels? And how does the strike and everything that's happening going to impact what's going on with their larger plans? Maybe they do. I mean, listen, Disney has had a lot of bombs this year. And in a year that we've had Barbie and Mario hit billions, $1 billion at the box office, does Marvel need to kind of take a step back, reevaluate what they're doing, and making sure that they have tighter scripts and they're approaching these characters in a way that makes fans happy?
I think Michael made a good point early on that
who's Michael?
A silver lining of this is it'll give us a gap between Marvel content where we can get the urge to see more Marvel content without it being crammed on our face, where you're like, oh crap, I'm not even finished the last TV show and the next one's come out and I've got to start that. And whereas if we're gonna have a long period where actually nothing comes out, we might get eager, which we haven't necessarily had to do because so much things has come out. Does that make sense? It's like Drag Race, where everybody used to watch it, and now you're like, I can't keep up, so I just stopped watching any of it.
Yeah, that definitely has been a problem with the MCU. I mean, I think the turn happened sometime around Thor: Love and Thunder, where everyone was like, we're not following this anymore. There's too much happening with the Disney Plus shows, with the movies. And I think it's also a lack of reward, because if you watch WandaVision, Loki, Spider-Man, and Multiverse of Madness, there really is no through line connecting those movies. Even though Michael Waldron oversaw most of those narratives, there's still what happened in WandaVision doesn't necessarily directly affect Multiverse of Madness. In fact, the people who wrote Multiverse of Madness didn't even watch WandaVision. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things where I think they need to go back, and they really need to spoon feed the audience this connective tissue. And we talk about this with the comic books all the time. We can speculate how things are connected, but it's not there in the source material. This is us just working behind the scenes for the writers who should be doing it. And that is my biggest pet peeve right now with Marvel, which is you're so good at planting seeds and making sure everything's connected. Why are you not doing the thing that has made you really famous from a cinematic point of view? You know what I mean? So yeah, maybe the writer's strike is a good thing that people can come and they can reevaluate the actors as well, you know, like sit down and get all the ducks in order and make sure everyone's paid correctly. And, you know, it is really scary to think that, what are they talking about? That background actors can now get scanned.
Oh yeah, with one day of work and then just
one day of work and that's it. Yeah, and in perpetuity. So in theory, you could use this background actor for another project that has nothing to do with whatever they initially came in to film, and you just reskin them to be whatever you want them, a pirate, a monster, and that's it. They don't get any residuals.
We live in a dystopian world. Like, oh my God, they don't even get paid that much to be an extra to begin with. Like, imagine that, like, it's like $20 an hour or something. Like, it's pathetic.
Have you ever done it? Been extra?
It's a nightmare.
Yeah.
No, we're not. Wait. We're not talking about porn, like in a legitimate movie. Have you ever been?
No, if you actually, Michael's probably the only one. There's a French-Canadian film called, oh my God, what was it called actually? Funky Town. I am guy farewell, and I am guy making out in the club with other guy.
Oh my God!
It was the longest. I thought it was gonna be a riot filming this thing. What? Dayspring?
No, I said, why are you being typecast? Why you gotta be typecast? Well,
it was a movie about a closeted gay disco dancer from the 70s in Montreal. So
wait, so what was that experience like?
It was boring. I thought so. Basically, it was like a friend of a friend was like the casting agent. He's like, we just need a ton of gay guys to like fill up a gay club. I thought it was gonna be a riot. I was like, that sounds like fun. I'll go do this. It was so effing long. The same scene over and over. And I just had to keep making out with my ex over it, like, you know, for like 6 hours for one stupid scene. It was never ending.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I do not like, if anybody thinks it'd be fun or glamorous, let me tell you, it is absolutely not.
No, and like, you have to travel yourself there. You have to like bring your own clothes. You have to like, women have to do their own hair, do their own makeup, and then you get paid $20 an hour, and then they will own you forever. Like,
that's anyway. I don't know why they wouldn't go the route of just CG creating like people. Why would they actually come out and say like we're gonna like
probably costs more to CGI people than it does to
more than $100 for a day.
So the way I'm thinking about it, it's like the way these studios were talking about it is that like they'll see like it's like the way like what is it called? Photo shutter, iStock, those.
Yeah.
Where you just get stock images of people and like you use it for marketing campaigns and stuff like that. Like, so this would be the movie equivalent where you just scan an extra and you have a plethora of extras in this data bank, and studios just come in, pull their digital likeness, and then adapt them for whatever movie they're filming. That is horrifying. On one hand, you're like, wow, the technology has finally reached this level. That's kind of cool on one hand. But then on the other, it's like, you're never going to pay this actor again. It would be different if the actor would be getting a royalty for it, you know, in the future. I mean, that can open up the door for a lot of people that like this person like 10 years ago scanned themselves and now they've been in 200 movies as a background character and they always have that kind of income coming. But to my understanding, they just want to scan you, pay you $50, and then like, whoops, we own you now. Bye.
Well, that's why they didn't. Their ask wasn't for big actors, right? Yeah. Or like principal actors, because they know they couldn't have got away with that. They knew if we said, I don't know, hey, Hugh Jackman, we're just going to scan you and use you in the next Marvel movie without your permission and not pay you, he's not going to say yes to that. But they thought, like, let's just go for the little guys who aren't in the union, right?
Yeah.
And then the union won't care about them. They'll be like, oh, whatever. Like, if that means that we get paid more. And the union was like, actually, we actually care about human beings. So no, go fuck yourself.
We love you, Fran Drescher, so much.
Yeah, so much. So much. I had no idea it was going to be her. And what a treat. What a treat.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm curious to see how everything is going to unfold and how it's going to affect like the MCU and like the Marvel content going forward. But I think in general, this can only be a good thing. because the actors and the writers are going to get their dues, hopefully, and it'll cause the studios to sit back and really evaluate what's been done to the industry and how you can't just steal people's likenesses. You can't just hammer out a blockbuster without really thinking of a fan base and the quality of writing behind it. So I really do hope for the MCU, can only be a good thing. That they're marching towards something better, but I don't know.
Fingers crossed. Like it's a tough situation. You don't want to boycott the studios necessarily, right? Because you don't. If the studios go under, then all of these people don't have jobs when the strike's over.
Yeah.
So you don't wish the studios poorly. You just wish. I just wish that they start treating their employees with decency and give them fair wages. And yeah.
Well, a lot of people are just out of touch with a lot of studios are just out of touch with people, and us
Yeah.
common folks, right? You know what I mean? Like for me, it's just baffling that they thought they could get away with this with like background actors and stuff like that. And, with Chat GBT, why did they think that people would much prefer an AI generated script? I mean, listen, I had to write a strongly worded email to JetBlue and I used Chat GBT to do it for me. But you read it, it is stale. It is just a very stale. I think it's great for like recommendation letters and, like angry emails and business stuff. But like for something like a Marvel movie to have something generated like that, you're still going to need that human eye there to like really clean it up and make sure it's good. So I don't understand the logic behind wanting to even use, even though it's a resource, why would you want to use it? It's not going to be any better.
It might be better than a Marvel movie, to be fair.
Which one?
I feel like
I
feel like Chat GPT would spit out a better Marvel movie than Marvel at this point, because they're all just
Wait, sorry. What was the last one? The last one was good.
Guardians was good.
3.
That is a passion. That one man wrote that, one man directed that. That's different than like
that's his baby.
When they give Taika Waititi
Free
ability to free reign, and then he crushes it with Ragnarok, and then they don't give him free reign with Love and Thunder, and it's absolute.
No,
trash.
isn't it the opposite? Wasn't
Did he have free reign?
Like free reign isn't like do what you want, and then he's like, oh, now I'm just gonna go off the rails and like make it really ridiculous.
You're right. Yeah, too jokey. I don't trust anyone now. I hope you're happy.
Anyways, so is there anything else you guys wanted to tackle with this?
You asked a question at the beginning, this spring, that I'd be interested to hear Hammy's response, which is he's like, what are you going to put me on the spot for?
Yeah, this sucks.
How do you think the strike affects cosplayers and going to cons?
That's so rude.
Give it to us. Give us the exclusive.
First and foremost, do the thing that makes you feel the happiest. If you want to cosplay at a con, the strike means nothing to cosplayers, I think. I personally feel a little differently. I'm trying not to recommend stricken products to anyone. I'm trying to not see anything that's going to come out. I'm trying to avoid most of that stuff, trying not to support studios. So my own personal opinion for myself is I will not be cosplaying anything from the MCU specifically. I think I will continue to cosplay from comic books or animated stuff, anime. Maybe
just
like
the movie.
Yeah, cosplay. Any movie or studio stuff. Even some animated stuff that I know is done by studios, like bigger studios, I'd be trying to avoid too. But people love these characters and they deserve to continue to love them. If you want to dress up like the new Wolverine, dress up like the new Wolverine, make yourself happy. But I don't want to give these studios any promotion at all, personally.
My qualm is when we have a movie like Barbie, for example, where there's such a diverse cast, you want to support that diversity. My big thing is with Blue Beetle, because I feel exceptionally proud that we're getting a hero like Blue Beetle out there. And obviously DC is not having a good track right now with their movies. So the movie, regardless, it's likely going to bomb. but I still want to go to the theater. I still want to promote it. But at the same time, you want to make sure that the actors behind who are actually doing this are being treated fairly. Same with the writers. It's such a weird tightrope to walk. And I really do hope that negotiations, happen and, everyone finds some kind of amicable solution, because again, I'm really excited for Blue Beetle, and it breaks my heart that I don't want to promote something if someone who is on the cast does not feel like they were justly compensated, for their stuff.
I should say, like, I genuinely, like, my own opinions aside, and I should sort of say that I'm part of like the Canadian version of the Actors Union. So in the States you have AFTRA, in Canada we have ACTRA. So I'm a bit more I want to fight for their rights.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. So it means a little bit more to me, but I don't think people should boycott in the way that I am. Like, especially with Blue Beetle, I was talking to some people, and like, people in the cast really want people to go see this movie, right? They do not want to boycott. They want this movie to do well, especially because it's a Latino movie. It's all people of color. It's a very important cultural movie. So I don't think we should boycott that stuff. I specifically Blue Beetle. I'm going to go see Blue Beetle. I'll just avoid, like, I'll wait till the Marvels comes out. I have no real interest in going to see that because it's just a boring Marvel movie.
Bag of Bones, New Blood, The Teeth Beneath, Moderation Town. You have an IMDb? How have we been friends this long and I didn't know you had an IMDb?
None of that is anything. I got my union card mostly from doing commercials.
Read them again,
Bag of Bones, New Blood, Moderation Town, The Teeth. The Teeth Beneath is a comedy horror, and you play Gummy number 2. What is Gummy number 2?
Me and another guy were just chewing gum and talking about our gum, and then we got murdered by a rabbit. I don't know what to tell you.
Wait, is there a clip out there that
where can we watch these movies?
Do you die on screen?
Oh my gosh, it's getting late, guys. Jeez.
Bitch, it is.
I mean, it's really not. In the time zone you're at, it's actually quite early, so.
Yeah, no, it's not even happy hour time yet. Hang on. Oh Michael Ham Gummy.
This is the worst day of my life.
If you find it on YouTube, Dayspring, make sure you put the link on the YouTube.
Yeah, just edit the clip in.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I want to see you being mauled by a bunny rabbit, and that's going to be literally in the intro.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us, Familia.
Yes. Guys, what do you guys have coming up? What's going on with you guys?
Well, you should know because it's going to involve all three of us.
All right. So we are all going to be at New York Comic Con. Hammy, so excited to have you there.
I'm excited to go there, and I'm okay with seeing you guys while I'm there.
Well,
that's as good as we could have hoped for.
Yeah.
This is the first time we're going to be meeting Sean.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess that's true. That's
exist
kind
from
of
the waist
exciting.
Down.
Oh no, I know. I've seen Instagram.
Yeah,
I barely believe you exist from the waist up.
So in real life, you'll see if he exists from the waist down.
And if you want to see that episode, join our Patreon exclusive.
Yeah.
Bitch, that's OnlyFans. That's gonna be an OnlyFans.
Oh my god. Yeah, I'm genuinely excited to go. I don't know what I'm gonna bring for costumes, but I'm excited to hang out with you guys. We gotta get Dayspring into a costume though.
Didn't we say we're gonna do Nightwing, Red Hood, and put Dayspring as Robin?
Yes. I think it'll look cute.
I drunk Robin, who's just going to be at the Javits bar drinking vodka and crying the entire time.
At least we'll know where to find you.
Yeah.
It's a very hectic convention, so I'm glad you'll be in the one spot the whole time.
All right, slide into all of our DMs. Where can people find you guys on the socials? Hammy?
You could find me at Hammy73 on Instagram or michael.ham.cosplay for cosplay stuff on Instagram. do not look for me on X or Twitter or whatever it is. I've also already given up on Threads. So
Oh
just
my
go
God,
follow me on
same.
Instagram. It's a cute time. Yeah, Threads is, well, I don't know. I can't be bothered.
Can't.
Did you join a Daybreak?
I did, and it was really nice. Let me tell you, I think being able to bridge your Instagram community to Threads really helped generate, a quick community there. But I've largely been uninterested in it. I've been focusing on YouTube. That's where I've been trying to focus some efforts and do some community building there. How about, did you join?
No, I didn't use Twitter ever, anyways. Other than for the obvious use of it.
I don't use X, Twitter, or anything. I try come in and out of it, but then I get bored, and that's it.
Yeah, I'm always coming out of Twitter too.
Sean, where are people hooking up with you?
On that note, yeah, you can find me at Latverian Lad on Instagram.
All right, guys, we'll see you next time.